Today, we are checking out the creatures from Around the Archon Family World, which is a mini-series that's airing on YouTube right now. We'll start things off in Europe, the continent where I'm from. First up, we have Scandinaviasaurus. This journey through Europe started in Sweden, and the Scandinaviasaurus was found traveling in all the Scandinavian countries, even in Iceland. However, it is hunted by a cryovenator. The cryovenator is a creature closely related to Allosaurus. These Allosaurus relatives from the North Pole actually hunt these creatures to maintain the population. On their second stop through Europe, they've arrived in Germany. The first animal they saw in Germany was the Brandenburger Titan. The Brandenburger Titan gets his name from the formation it was found in, the Brandenburg Fossil Formation. It shares its territory with the river-dwelling Steinmeieria, a relative of Baryonychus and Suchomimus. It was named after the current president of Germany, Frank-Walter Steinmeier. They share Germany too with a mammal, the raccoon cat. At first glance, it may look like a cat merged with the raccoon, but it's not a cat. It is closely related to raccoons, kinkajous, and coatis. Their third stop was the Iberian Peninsula, where they found the creature called Argopelta, a nodosaurid, closely related to Borealopelta. Its enemies are Concavenator and Riohavenatrix. It shares its territory with the Iberian elk, which is a red deer subspecies found in Spain, Portugal, and Andorra. Allosaurus europaeus hispanicus is a subspecies of the species Allosaurus europaeus. It is found in one small region of Spain. It is strictly protected by the Spanish government, and if it goes extinct, the people of this region will always remember it. The final stop on our journey through Europe is Malta, when they met the penguin fulmar, or Malta osteodornid. These seabirds are very skilled hunters. Their wide eyes help them navigate through the rushing waters. And an European aged orchid, Aglaopteryx, comes from Greece, but can be found anywhere around the Mediterranean coast, even in Israel, believe it or not. And finally, Maltanectes, an elasmosaurid, native to Cyprus and Malta. These long-necked ocean beasts are the true masters of the oceans in this region. They are the Loch Ness monster of the Mediterranean. Our second chapter takes place in Asia, the continent that borders with Europe by the Ural Mountains. Our journey begins in the Middle East, also known as Asia's Arabian regions. In this desert, we find the Alacristis, an Arabian hadrosaur closely related to Saurolophus and Parasaurolophus from North America and Asia. Alacristis is found in the Asian part of the Sahara Desert. Sharing this desert territory with a predator known as Valucus shuna, or by its scientific name, Desertus scion. These large desert dogs resemble wolves, but they're not actually related to them. They are more closely related to jackals. Their acute sense of smell helps them navigate prey from far away, such as young Alacristis. Here we have a Siberian species of Tyrannosaurus. Tyrannosaurus sibericus. It has two variations. The white-feathered one, which can only be found during the winter, and the brown one, which is more present in the spring and summer. There is also a transitional stage between in autumn, where they transition from their brown summer coat into this puffy winter feather form. Next up, China, where we encounter a Sinocorvus. This Chinese crow lived in the Pliocene, and it shared its territory with pandas, giant apes, and elephants. However, what truly sets this region apart is that we have a Chinese abelosaurid now, called Zhucheng taurus, meaning bull from Zhucheng. It has beef with Zhucheng tyrannus and Therizinosaurus. It tries so desperately to be the apex predator. Our journey continues in Sri Lanka and southern India. We have the Swafrobo, native to the coast of the Bay of Bengal. These Ornithomimosaurs closely resemble Deinocheirus, and believe it or not, they are actually closely related to it. Their long tongues help them reach out seaweed from the deep. On land, we have the Indian ostrich. Thousands of years ago, they roamed almost the entire Asian continent, from the Arabian coast, from the Arabian Peninsula to Nepal. But now they are only found in South India. Scientists believe this has something to do with human encroachment. And next up, we have a small sauropod named Hanumanosaurus, named after the Hindu monkey god. This small sauropod is set apart from Ichthyosaurus because of its size, and it has a longer tail, so it can grab fruit in a different way. And finally, the Philippines, where we find an ornithopod named Philippinosaura, closely related to Lilianosaura and Parksosaurus. It is the first dinosaur ever discovered in the Philippines. Back in the day, people didn't know that there were dinosaurs in the Philippines. But with advanced technology, we have uncovered a few of these specimens in this region. They are being hunted by a creature called Saurolovaranus, an extinct genus of monitor lizard with a blue coloring and green accents. Their saliva is filled with bacteria that can kill its prey in an instant. And an avian-looking dinosaur, Emperorvis, a missing link between dinosaurs and birds found in the Philippines. And a proceratosaur named Luzon Draco, who is a small apex predator in this region. Although very little is known about this creature, the Luzon Draco is the first and only theropod discovered in the Philippines so far. Our journey continues in Africa. First up is the skull orphan. There is a wild and heartbreaking theory that this baby dinosaur wears the skulls of other dinosaurs, specifically his own mother. Next up, the Algeriosaurus, a nodosaurid from Algeria. It looks like Edmontonia, but if it lived in Africa instead of North America. This small creature is quite territorial and will bump anyone with its shoulder blades. In Nigeria, we meet an Eclipsotitan, a creature closely related to Amargasaurus and Bahalosaurus. But unlike its cousins, its neck frill spreads out like a sunset. In Congo, we found the Kasai Rex, a living cryptid, one of the last few surviving dinosaurs in the world. Over millions of years, this creature has mastered the art of being an apex predator and has evolved to massive sizes, about 20 tons to be exact. Let's get into something a little bit more docile. The Congo stega, a creature closely related to Stegosaurus, Stegosaurus. Congo stega live in herds and are found near watering holes, lakes, and rivers. On the Tanzania savannas, we have the Amelanuntuka, a ceratopsian with a giant unicorn horn, looking like a rhinoceros mixed with a lizard. This creature is known as a rhino slayer. One of the biggest creatures in Africa, we have the Mokele Membe, a sauropod with a trunk and a skin flap protruding from his neck. The Mokele Membe are fairly rare, and they only come out during the night. In Botswana, scientists discovered fossils of an extinct crocodilian from the Oligocene called Botswanasuchus, living near swamps and rivers. This ancient crocodile is unlike any other. It's semi-aquatic and runs on 4 legs, and it acts like a cat. In South Africa, we have the Psittacoraptor, a dinosaur that can mimic anything, such as the call of a T-Rex, a heartbeat, and a lion's roar. Near the coast, we have a ceratopsian dinosaur, although this one's smaller and more agile than the Amelanontuca kaike. The kaike is a little bit more shy of humans and would avoid them at all costs. Scientists have also observed them climbing trees. In the oceans, we have the Phocophagus, or Phocophagus, which translates to seal eater. This giant mosasaur is native to the coast of southern Africa and Madagascar. It is always on the hunt for seals and penguins. It also has beef with great white sharks in their evolutionary arms race. Heading to the land known as North America, we are starting off in Alaska. The only sauropod native to Alaska is Alaska Titan. Their favorite food is pine leaves and pine cones. Adult Alaska Titan have no predators, while their young are struggling to fight against creatures such as the Nanosaurus. You've heard of the American cave lion, right? Well, you're gonna get introduced to the American cave tiger. Slightly larger than a Siberian tiger, and more slim, adapted to life in the mountains with a thicker fur coat. It was hunted to extinction by humans over 13,000 years ago. In Canada, you can find the Rocky Mountain Ceratosaurus, a species of Ceratosaurus found in Canada, the same country where Albertosaurus and Edmontosaurus were found in. Speaking of Alberta, scientists in this region have found the Alberta stega as well. This is one of the few stegosaurids native to Canada. Its weirdly shaped spinal plates give it an alien-like appearance. In Texas, we found the Lincolnicus, named after the president Abraham Lincoln. This member of the dromaeosaur family is struggling to fight against the Texachelis, a giant desert tortoise, looking like a Galapagos giant tortoise. This giant turtle likes to munch on cacti, and the spikes from the cacti don't get stuck in its throat at all. It has a mouth structure similar to a camel. In Ohio, you can find the Ohio Draco, a species looking like a Cryolophosaurus. With its two split crests, it looks like an imposing enemy. Its prey, the Gunhilder Draco, is much more agile and is herbivorous. Gunhilder Draco are fairly common around the eastern United States, especially Tennessee and Minnesota. In Florida, we can find the Florida rhinus, a Lambeosaurine hadrosaur. that can be found in the Florida Everglades. It has no fear of alligators whatsoever. It shares this territory with the Everglades monkeys, whose white coloring make them difficult prey for alligators, but easier prey for birds. In Hawaii, there are two species. The aloha venator, meaning aloha hunter, is found around the Hawaiian Islands and is this biome's apex predator. Some individuals of its species have been killed because they hunt livestock. Their natural prey, the Kilaueosaurus, can only be found around Mount Kilauea, where the volcanic activity is so high they can actually spit acid out of their nostrils. In South America, our journey starts in the Caribbean. Since the discovery of Duanakis, scientists have also discovered another therizinosaur that looks like Duanakis, Coantanakis, which means 5 claws. It has 5 claws, just like how many fingers a human does. There is also a pterosaur known as Caribbeodon, meaning tooth of the Caribbean. This creature is closely related to Tapahara and Tumpandactylus. Central American weasels can also be found there, but in very small numbers around the Central American islands. Way more of them are found on mainland Central America, such as in Panama and Costa Rica. In Brazil, specifically the Amazon, we can find the dinosaur-eating spider. It will track down and attack small dinosaurs. It will wait for the dinosaur to come near its den and then attack. Sometimes it would go after larger prey, but it should do it in groups since it can't bring it down alone. This is a titanosaur known as Polytitanus, meaning Titan of Sao Paulo. This long-necked beast is found across the eastern Amazon, but some members have migrated towards the central part of the Amazon, where most of the rainforest has been destroyed, but they are still struggling to find food. The Brasilotyrannus is found not only in Brazil, but also in Ecuador and Colombia. Their acute sense of smell and strong jaws make them excellent predators. Their large size makes it easy for them to ambush prey. In groups, they can even bring down an adult Polytitanus. In the Andes Mountains around Chile and Argentina, we can find the giant Garuda, a species closely related to the Andean condor, but bigger and with a higher wingspan. In Patagonia, two species are having a rivalry. A ceratopsian called Patagoceratops, with a single horn and a crown-looking frill, and Rhegophagonax, the king-eating master. A Carcharodontosaurid closely related to Giganotosaurus. Another dinosaur named after the president of the country it was found in, we have the Malayosaurus, smaller than most sauropods in the Patagonia region. Our semi-final continent on this journey. Welcome to Oceania. Our journey begins in northern Australia, where we find the Spinosaurus robustus, a smaller species of Spinosaurus adapting to life in the rainforest, where there is plenty of food, and Irwinia, a small sauropod named after Steve Irwin, a zoologist who passed away in 2006. In the desert, we can find the Ulurusaurus, hypsilophodontid, named after Mount Uluru, and Kangaroo mimes, meaning kangaroo mimic. Despite its name, it's not actually a ornithomimus, or it's an oviraptorosaur, closely related to things like oviraptor and Zwiley and Rankinia. On Tasmania, we found a creature called Tasmanosaurus, meaning lizard of Tasmania, referencing the island it was found in. Around the islands of Polynesia, we have the Insularosidon, a dwarf sauropod with barbs on its tail, which can tangle up leaves and make it easier for it to obtain food. And Polynesiasaurus, a small dinosaur resembling Scipionix, whose name means Polynesian lizard. In Fiji, we have the Fijidactylus, meaning finger of Fiji. This pterosaur is found around the Fiji mountain, and it does so in numbers. Samoasaura is closely related to the Nothosaurus from Europe, except this one has larger front fins than back fins, allowing for faster paddling. And for our final stop on this journey, welcome to Antarctica. Most of the creatures on Antarctica live in the water. This is the Allosaurus. At around 5 tons, this mosasaur is pretty small, but it hunts in pairs to bring down penguins. An Asdarchid named Glacialopteryx with a wingspan of 10 meters and a short thick beak for catching fish and small creatures. Antarctopterygius, a genus of ichthyosaur with a dolphin-like appearance and glistening white scales. Weddell's Titan squid, a giant 21-meter-long mollusk which can catch other dinosaurs. Marine reptiles such as Allosaurus and Antarctopterygius with its tentacles. Australospinosaurus, meaning southern spine lizard, is also native to the southern hemisphere, far, far away from its cousin, the Spinosaurus, which is found in Africa. And then we have a ceratopsian that's adapted to a more water-based lifestyle. Meet the Hydroceratops, the only fully aquatic ceratopsian with its horns facing downward and used for combat and digging up aquatic plants. Antarctic ferns. These, resurrected by colossal biosciences from these fossils, are over 200 million years old, and they make for an excellent food source for Palmaraptor, the only herbivorous land creature found here. It's very rare, and very few remain on Antarctica. I hope you enjoyed this trip around the world. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and remember, Happy Earth Day!